Hi friends, it's Kim back from Making Creative Memories in Time. I hope you're enjoying the content that you're seeing here on my channel and that you'll be sure to follow. Make sure you hit the notification bell and subscribe. Be sure to leave comments. That helps YouTube know that you're enjoying my content. So today I am sharing with you a process video that I made last week during National Scrapbook Day. And this is a sketch that was posted in Creative Memories NSD Crop. And I am using the Birds and Blossoms paper collection. And there's lots of bold, bright colors in that collection, but also some soft pastels. And you see I pulled in smaller, bright strips, and I pulled in the soft canary plaid to sort of soften that. And I think this paper collection is absolutely perfect to document these early spring bloomers that were some of my grandmother's favorites at her home. And I'm just showing these photos right now that I'll be documenting in this 2-page layout. And so this is like an azalea bush, and it's a very bright orange. This one is a deep burgundy, almost like velvety clematis, and the sun was shining directly down on that when I took it. This is like a lavender clematis. We have some lilac columbine, and next up you'll see a snowball bush. And here in the South, we have different kinds of winters. And actually, last weekend, was snowball winter. And this last picture is what we have always called a bubby bush. My granddad brought this bush in and planted it for my grandmother 50 plus years ago. And we have just always called it a bubby bush. So now I'm getting started, and I'm going to anchor both pages with this beautiful sort of Kelly green with like this beautiful little white ghosted flower in it. And then at the top, I am going to put the more heavily concentrated bold colors, the floral with all of the beautiful oranges and the yellows and the greens. And I just turned the mat upside down while I'm working on the top, just so my head doesn't get in the camera. You'll see me flip those back, and then we are going to start attaching our soft plaid, and then I decide I want to cut a dovetail in that after I'd already put adhesive on it. If you're like me and you make decisions on the fly as you go, be sure and leave a comment and let me know that you do that. I like to change things up even when I think I have a great plan. And here what I do is I just fold that paper in half. I do not crease it, and that way I know that both banners will be cut, both dovetails will be cut exactly the same, and that will be beautiful on the opposite page. So I'm going to attach that down. And I really do like that the banner sort of breaks up all of the harsh lines and edges in this sketch. I do like that, and I'm just lining that up in the actual center of the page. And I have already matted the photos. I like a little thin white mat, and then I used one of the blue watercolor papers for the double mat. Now I'm just dry fitting where each of these photos will go so that I know where these pretty orange watercolor banner pieces will go. And then I start looking at what am I going to use for embellishments now that I basically know the bones of the page. And I pull in my silicone mat so that I can stick down some stickers. Not everything that I pull off will actually end up making it onto this double page layout. Some things will, some things will not. You'll see me fuss around and make my mind up 10 times about different things. Again, if you're like me, hit the like or leave a comment. I pulled out that matte pack card that has the sunshine and the clouds on it because I feel like I can fussy cut that. And here I'm just looking for some title options. I like that first card that says there's so many beautiful reasons to be happy. And then I'm also thinking I may use this Smile It's Spring. So I've just have them laying here until I make a decision. I'm going to move the stickers off to the side and then start fussy cutting. And whenever I fussy cut, I cut everything apart so that when I fussy cut, I have smaller amounts of paper to work with. And I am going to fussy cut all of these clouds. And you'll see me sort of fuss around a little about where I want to place these clouds. Embellishing is my favorite part of scrapbooking, but then at the same time, embellishing is also sometimes when it just doesn't please the eye, it's agonizing for me. And here I am just fussy cutting out that sunshine, and you'll see that I rotate the paper more than I rotate or move the scissors, and that's just to help give an even cut along rotating the paper as opposed to rotating the scissors. And here I am trying to decide between the two titles, and I think I like this one that says there's so many beautiful reasons to be happy. So I pull in a decorative frame from my stash and my Big Shot, and I am going to stick this down and make sure it doesn't move. I have a magnetic plate, but it's like been used for more than 15 years. So I do like to anchor that in place with some mint tape. And I really like how this little title element turns out. And then I do not discard the excess of that mat, because I can use that later. If I just need a strip of paper that matches, I can use that later. So now we're actually going to start committing to where these photos are going to stick down to the page. And I start working on the left page first. And of course, you know, as luck has it, you completely run out of your tape runner and you need to pop in a refill right in the middle of a process. Yes, if you're like me, raise your hand. That always happens, right? And so now I am laying down this pumpkin orange watercolor border. The one on the bottom will end up being a little bit of a cluster, but then it's also going to be the journal spot. And on this banner that I am particularly working on now at the top, I did not even really need to cut that dovetail in that, because by the time I do my cluster at the top, I don't even think you can tell that it was ever a dovetail. But that was just a scrap piece, and I did pull it for that purpose. I knew that there would potentially be a cluster that happened up there. So I'm just dry feeding things, pulling some butterfly stickers, trying to decide where I want things. And then I do like this title card at the top, and you see me attaching some foam tape. And then you're going to see me remove the foam tape from the bottom, because that is already going over 2 or 3 layers of photo and photo mat. So I didn't like how that looked, and I just moved it up, and I only put foam tape on the card where it laid off of the photo, and it did not lay on like layers that gave height or definition underneath. And so here I am attaching some foam tape. I like everything, almost everything up in this cluster, a little popped up with some thin 3D foam tape. And then I am going to attach down the cloud also with some foam tape. And then I'm going to pull in just a little butterfly or two. And then I will audition a couple other things. And I think I just stop working on that cluster and then move on over to the left page. Nope, I moved down to the bottom where I'm going to try to decide what I want to do with florals at the bottom. You'll see me pull a couple of bird nests. I just can't get happy. I wanted to use the bird nest, but given the type of pictures I had and that I chose to work with flowers and clouds, butterflies, and a sunshine, I really didn't have anything that the bird nest actually fit and made me feel like it made sense, right? So here you see me cutting a sticker, cutting the floral piece of the sticker off, and that makes it into the bottom cluster on this left page, and it does not bother me to do sticker surgery at all. I'm going back and still fussing around a little with that top cluster where the title is, and I will adhere one more cloud up there. And then I'm going to move over to the right page, And the first thing I'm going to do is dry fit these photos in and get them attached. I start with the one in the bottom left corner first, and then I use that to line up all my other photos. And I love doing layouts with flowers. My grandmother loved flowers especially that she grew more than anything, and she definitely has passed that love to me. I love to photograph flowers, and I love to scrapbook and tell the origin of how we got these flowers and how long they've been in our family. Everything on this 2-page layout is at least 20 to 50 years old in their growth. So my granny was definitely a committed gardener. I'm going to go back and look at some more stickers. I'm going to pull another sticker and I'm going to try to decide where I want to use it. And I'm just going to leave it to the side for a minute. I'll audition another little floral bouquet. I'm not really happy with the orange. I'm not really happy with the floral bouquet. And then I do want to apologize. I did not realize that my camera was zoomed in so much when I did this. And when I start working on the cluster, just to the right of those top photos, you're going to see my hands moving around, but you are not necessarily going to see until the end what I actually do. And so for that, I do apologize. Here I am pulling in my powder pouch, and I am taking the sticky off of that. I believe that is the cloud sticker, and then I am going to attach some 3D foam tape just to sort of expand that cluster a little bit. And here's where I'm talking about you may not necessarily see everything I do over on that corner as I build that cluster where the butterfly is I just attached. This round sticker, I'm going to fuss around just a little bit with it until I finally decide I want to take it in up at the top with these clouds, and I like that. It just sort of adds something up there, and I also like that it's round. It adds a really organic shape. And here I'm just going to fussy cut this little sprig of like fern-like greenery and just add in that cluster, because so far, other than the butterflies, my colors in that cluster are very bland, and I needed to add a little color to help the eye continue to move through the page. And now I am bringing in some gems, and here's where you can't necessarily see me working on that final cluster. I'm going to bring in bling because every page, in my opinion, deserves some sparkle. I love it. Again, I want to thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Be sure to like and hit the notification bell. I really do enjoy providing content for you. Sometimes it's very simple, like this layout, and I follow a very simple sketch. Other times it's very creative, and I do things in a very creative way. I would love a comment about what is your favorite type of page. Do you like the more creative pages? Do you like the more simple pages? Do you like pages with more photos? Do you like pages with less photos? Let me know. I really would like to know what kind of content you would like to see. And we are just putting on, or I am just putting on the finishing touches. I love this sparkle, you know. And here we go. I decide to come in after the sparkle is done, and I pull a small ink spatter stamp, and I'm just pulling in some black ink, and I feel like I just need to scatter some black around the page because there's a lot of heavy black outline on those butterflies that I used. And I just felt like the page needed some black in each cluster area to help pull your eye around the page. And that's what I'm doing now. I really do like it. I do wish I had gone with something that actually looked a little more like ink spots. This one does when you look at it in person, but it's not necessarily as big as I wanted it to be. And here I am doing just a little masking with some of my mint tape because I want to add a little bit of ink spot right here around those photos. And I actually stamp right over the photo mats. That doesn't bother me at all. And so here you go, one look at the top cluster. I really like how that came out. I like that title card. A look at that bottom cluster on that page. And then let's take a quick look at how the cluster turned out on the right page and those ink spots. And I hope you enjoyed this Birds and Blossoms. Thanks, guys. And until next time, happy scrapping.